How do I stop cheating on keto?
All right, so this is such a great question because I think it's something that everybody struggles with. As you get to know us, you're going to know that we're not those people that are like, oh, we're perfect, we never cheat, we never. And I'm going to use cheat because that's kind of natural language.
And I've coined the term teetotalers, right? So you remember teetotaling from the Prohibition era? Like, we're not teetotalers, so we don't believe that you always have to be on keto for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So, yes, we cheat. You can call it an indulgent. It could be planned or it can be unplanned. But this question is just a member who's just really struggling to get back on keto. Like, she's starting over every week. And she wants some tips on how do we get back on track for the long term. So, we live in a fairly new neighborhood, and it's kind of ironic that we're building a wall. We're building a retaining wall for our landscaping. And so as I was pondering this question, I started thinking about, how we built a wall, but a little bit more familiar to everyone is how is a house built? So how many of you type yes in the comments, have you watched a house being built? Or maybe you've even built a house yourself and gone through that process of watching it, from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
So type in the comments if you've had any kind of experience building a house, building a wall, just watching a house go up. So what's the first step when you build a house?
So Tara asked me this, and I totally biffed on this. I got it wrong.
Comment. No, because this is totally what we think. But this is the process I want to take you on. So what is the first step in building a house? Go ahead and drop that in the comment. It's okay if it's not the perfect answer. So Jeremy said...
I said digging out the foundation.
Right, and that's what we think is the first step. That's what we see as the first step, and that's okay, but it's not the first step.
It's not.
No. So before we dig, you have to stake the house out.
Right. So somebody comes and will stake out the basic, like, here's where things are going to get dug out. And even before that, there's a lot of other things that happen before the staking even happens.
Right. You have to have your plans drawn up. Right? So what would happen if you didn't have plans and you're building a house? Well, let's say you have two teams of people framing the house, pretty normal for a larger building. Well, you could end up with 2 master bedrooms because of a communication error. Right? Like, there has to be plans. So you pay some kind of an architect, unless you are one yourself, to design a house and to have plans. And then those plans are broken down into sub-plans, right, for each thing. So it's
Somebody
this...
got it right.
Yes, Christina, awesome. So, but it's the same thing with keto. We tend to want to skip that first step.
And so we do have some new people on here tonight too. So, and we have people that have been on a year. So in the comments, if you've been on a year and you didn't really do any upfront planning before you got on, let us know what happened in the comments. And for those that are just thinking about it, getting started, great, because you're actually doing this step right now, which is planning.
Yeah, so, but as human beings, all of us, me included, Jeremy included, we tend to skip that first step, the planning. And that can sabotage us, because what happens when we get tired? We get home at the end of a hard day, we are reading the news, and we're just so, fatigued mentally. And it comes, now we're hungry, it's dinner time. So our brain is going to do what?
It's going to go into, autonomous mode where it's just like, I know what to do. I'm going to walk you to the fridge. I'm going to pick something out and I'm going to eat it, right? It's easy. It's simple. It's, it's that.
Or drive through or order pizza or whatever's easiest, because that's what our brain wants to do, right? It wants to
It's going to fall back on old habits.
Yes, exactly. So, things that people struggle with, us included, is FOMO. Fear of missing out on all the carbs. Like, just insert your favorite food. Everybody struggles with this. But we want to skip over dealing with that. So there's also some foundational stuff to do with our emotional state. A lot of people in my free group, in our membership, that comments on YouTube, they say, I am addicted to carbs. And a lot of times, carbs are an emotional comfort. It's a way to self-soothe yourself. Kind of like I think about The Middle. We've been watching The Middle for a funny comedy, and he whispers under his breath.
Self-soothe.
Right? So, But carbs are kind of like that because of what they do in the brain.
Well, they activate opioid pathways in the body, so they're great at being like a drug, a very powerful drug in the brain.
So first, don't beat yourself up. These are all very real things, and you are not alone in dealing with these things. So, we cheat because we're stressed out, we're tired, we're hungry, we don't have a plan, or we have a plan, but our plan doesn't sound good. So we deviate, right? Like, I had a really bad day, and then the language that I deserve.
Oh, yeah. And then I always talk about, like, well, get over what you think you deserve, because what you deserve is just in your head.
Right. So maybe rephrase that. I deserve good health. I deserve to reach my goals. I deserve to feel comfortable in my own skin. So like, this can become a slippery slope because you cheat and then you get angry with yourself for cheating. Maybe you and a lot of times right now, cheating is happening because we desire to check out of what's happening in the real world, right? Like what's happening out there, we want to check out. We just want things to be normal. We want to be comforted. We want to be soothed.
And this is the same thing with a lot of addictions. Same thing with alcohol, same thing with smoking, same thing with drugs. It's that desire to check out, to feel something different, to numb the pain.
Even if it's just for a few moments.
Right.
Right? So kind of so you have to practice not beating yourself up. And we're going to get into, because it can become a slippery slope, and it can become 50 pounds, right? Before you catch yourself. So the first thing you've got to do is own that you are making a decision. When you go off plan, right? When your brain takes over and tries to push you down the easy path, a non-decision, right? That feels like a non-decision. Like when your brain just takes over and it's like, oh, you're just going to do what's easy. The I deserve language comes in. The I need to feel comforted. I've had a hard day. You've got to own that following that is a decision. Mm-hmm. Because once you take ownership, that's a huge step. Because there's only one person who can change your health. It can change what you're doing, and that person is you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So I know that sounds very direct and a little bit harsh, but it's something that we all have to come to terms with at one point or another. So maybe you're past that. Maybe you're struggling with that right now. But showing yourself grace, just accept that you have to take ownership and start working on that. And that is a really big step. Getting this right, spending the time to take ownership and to practice owning all of your behaviors without tearing yourself down. I'm not talking about telling yourself you're stupid, telling yourself you can't. I'm talking about owning it in a healthy, graceful way. Like, okay, I did it. It's in the past. I can't change it. But what I can do is start right now today. I can change me. I can do hard things. So like learning how to believe in your ability to figure anything out. Because any diet, any lifestyle change is hard work. Think back to a time in your life where you had to overcome something really hard. Maybe it was back in college. Maybe it was a really hard, challenging class that you had to spend just a ton of time on, even though you'd rather be going out with friends and doing other things. Like, you've done hard things before, and you can do them again. So owning it.
Yeah. And then I always talk about slipping in between the moment between moments. The moment before something goes wrong is a moment that if you can catch yourself in it, and you really are looking at your own thoughts, thinking about your own thoughts. And it feels to me like a moment between moments. And when I realize that I'm in one of those, I really have a good sense of that I can get control of it. And if I can get control of it, then I can do something about it. But if I just let myself go into this automatic mode, then I give up control. And I'm just letting chance or randomness make decisions for me rather than
your automatic brain processing.
Yeah. So I always like to think, if you feel like you see something like I'm about to cheat or I'm about to do something that I don't want to do, think about it. You're in that moment between moments, like when you're ready to make a different decision. So if that is grabbing a Twinkie or something else, and you are just sitting there looking at the Twinkie, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? I've tell people this all the time. Talk to it.
It sounds crazy, but it works.
Talk to the food that you don't want to eat.
Like
out loud.
Yeah, like you don't have control over me, you know?
It works, and I've done it before. And that's just the moment between moments to get control of yourself, get control of your next decision.
Yeah, so this is about changing how you talk to yourself. This is about owning your health. And this is about creating a plan based on that newfound ownership of your health, right? Because you are the ultimate decider of what goes into your body for fuel, right? So go back to the beginning and create the custom plan that you need to get started. We've created a tool for you called the 30-Day Keto Planner.
Oh, you look at that.
So, yep, Connie got the 30-Day Keto Planner. So this is a great tool. It's available in print or digital. It's also available on Amazon. Now, Amazon takes 3+ weeks to print and ship right now. So just be aware. But you can get it a digital. You can print it out. You can get a nice notebook and just follow along. But it's about having that plan of action to fall back on. It's about writing out your goals and getting really connected with the reason you want to do this, the reason you want to eat keto, and why it's so critical for your life. And that's about looking beyond just the short term, I want to lose weight. That's about looking beyond and looking into your future and thinking about the life you want to live when you retire.
Right, because eventually the weight's going to be gone. And then what? You have to have something planned for beyond that. Otherwise, it won't sustain you.
Yeah. So my question is, will you put yourself back into the driver's seat? Comment and let us know. Will you own your health? Make that commitment right here, right now, in front of all the eyeballs that are on the comments right now. Because that matters. That makes a difference. So my question is, put yes or no in the comments. Will you take ownership of your health right now? Because you know that nobody else can do it for you.